way, that was why I studied farm management, record keeping, shop, and soils. I made the decision to sell my farm management company and used my plane to spot the poor doing farms in this area. I did this prior to selling the company. I flew over the communities and saw farms that were not being run as they should be. They weren't putting the cropland to the right crops. They weren't handling the rotation right, not using good management. I found out that many of these farms could be bought for $1,000 down and $1,000 a year payment with 4% interest, as long as you wanted it. That appealed to me, and I found some pretty good farms that could be bought, and that's what I did. I put the land to crops like it should have been, handled the rotation right. I would type the soil and add what fertilizer it needed that I knew would produce more. That worked out real good for me. I put some machinery together using an idea I had I called it minimum tillage. With this method you could cut costs way down and absolutely keep any water from running off or losing any soil. You could raise an average yield which would be over 100 bushel per acre of corn at a minimum of machinery and fuel costs. When I would get a poor farm built up and had good crops on it, then someone would come along and want to buy it. So I made quite a little that way. Then I decided to lease a good farm which I knew was for sale. I took it over and did what I knew should be done. Within 10 years, I bought a 280-acre farm at Rhodes, Iowa, and had it paid for. I paid $225 an acre for that one because it was a much better farm than usual. The ones that I were buying that were real poor would sell usually for around $125. Everybody told me, just like they did when I went to college, that you can't pay for a farm with prices the way they are. But if you do it cheap enough and farm economically and keep your production up and volume up, I knew better. You can sure do it, and I knew how to do that because that's been what I'd been doing all along for years. In addition to the farm, I had all my machinery, the improvements on the farm, grain bins, feeding systems, livestock buildings, and all the livestock paid for in 14 years.